Welcome back to the channel, guys. So I've decided I want to try to get some different camera angles while I'm out riding for my moto vlogs. And I decided to try to mount another action cam to where I remove the rear foot pegs. So I've been experimenting through the past week, coming up with different various little mounts and trying to get rid of the vibrations to make smooth footage. And I went through everything from bending little L brackets. This was my first experiment. I bent this thing up, mounted it directly where I removed the rear foot peg and mounted the camera on top in the weatherproof housing. And it turned out okay. I really liked the perspective. I thought it gave a little bit more feeling for how curvy the roads are and might let you guys relate a little bit better while I'm doing rides. Here's some footage from that so you can see what the first attempt turned out as. So as you can see, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's pretty smooth. There is some vibration. The roads are rough. There's a little bit of jello in the scenes, but I was overall pretty impressed with it and thought, man, yeah, this is definitely something I want to pursue. So my next attempt was I took my little bracket, and to try to cushion the vibration, I took some neoprene washers such as this, and I stacked them, glued them together, and then used another little bar and kind of sandwiched it between. I had actually two sets here all glued together, and then I could line these holes up, put my screwdriver through there, and tighten it down to the tripod mount from the Get 2, the accessory kit. And it took some vibration out, but I started getting this jello effect. And I'm sure if any of you guys have the drones, you know what I'm talking about, where the screen looks all wavy. So I started doing research trying to figure out what I can do to combat that. And the reason is because this is so narrow, yet took out a lot of the shock vibration, but now the camera would wobble back and forth. And with the way the rolling shutter works on these action cams, it made that wavy appearance. Well, being the DIYer that I am, I'm not going to go out and just buy anything until I tinker and try to come up with something myself. So I know this is impressive, so just brace yourself, hold on, okay? This beauty right here was my emulation of an actual drone mount. A couple pieces of cardboard, a little bit of packing foam, some Gorilla Glue to hold it all together, and the little skeleton clip for the GoPro or the Get 2. And so I bolted this directly into the bottom of the L bracket here, just like that, attached to the bike. And because it had gotten so late in the day, I'd been trying to make these things over and over and coming up with ideas because it was kind of, all I had to do over the weekend, so I wanted to play with it. And the footage actually turned out pretty good. I didn't get to ride, but I did sit here and crank the bike and rev it up, and you can see a clip here. And notice how there's actual no waviness, no bad vibration or blurring in the video. So after going through all that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to splurge and actually order something that's made for this. And I got this little bad boy here off Amazon, which is an actual drone anti-jello mount. So I'm hoping this thing works. I have yet to try it. I just got it in. The one thing I really was kind of concerned about as far as mounting it on a motorcycle, the nylock nuts that hold the actual camera mount onto it doesn't quite thread in as far as I would like it to, so I went ahead and wrapped some zip ties around it just to give it a little more security in case these do vibrate or work their way out through all the roughness of the road. But yeah, I'm going to mount this to I made a shorter L bracket, and it bolts directly to it like that. This bolts to the bike. The one I made is actually shorter so it doesn't overhang the bracket. I painted it black. It's mounted on the bike now, ready for this to attach to it. What else I'm going to do, because I'm not sure how well these little silicone dampeners are going to hold up through the roughness of the highway. I don't want them to separate. I don't want to lose my camera. So I'm going to take some black zip ties and stick it through. These are monster zip ties, but it's all I had. And I'm going to zip it down real loosely, just in case these do bounce and separate or get wore out, that I have just a little bit of added security so I don't lose a camera. Now, the footage you just watched was taken off of my old SJ cam, the SJ4000 Wi-Fi model. And, you know, it's 30 frames, 1080. It's not too bad, but it's not near the quality of the Get 2. Has better sensor, has better frame rate. So I went ahead and bought another Get 2 just for this mount. And if it doesn't work out, I will use this as the camera that mounts to the handlebar that looks back at me, because that's what I currently use the SJ for. So not all is lost. I mean, you cannot beat these little cameras. That's what I use for my chin cam. It's like $100 and it comes with all the accessories you need, waterproof cover and everything. Excellent little GoPro comparative cameras. I've been really impressed with it for what it does. So let's get this thing mounted up and take it for a ride and see what you think. I'm going to try it both firstly without the gyro turned on, because I want to keep that feeling of acceleration and speed. And then I'm going to try it with the gyro on to see if there is any remaining vibration or bouncing, and how much of that it will eliminate. So let's check it out. All right, there it is, all mounted up. You can see we've got the L bracket there. There's the little jelly mount. You can see the zip ties and everything. Well, let's hit the highway. All right, there she is. Well, let's try it out and see what happens. Try to lug the bike a little bit. I'm going to go some high RPMs, a little bit of curves. See how it does. We'll take a right. And as any other Z650 owners know, this thing has some vibrations. So if that little cheap mount takes care of those vibrations, I'm going to be pretty happy. Alright, that was railroad tracks. Now both cameras are set identical. No gyro turned on. No wide dynamic range, 60 frames, 1080, and the shutter speed is 1/120. So we should get some pretty consistent footage swapping back and forth. At least I hope we do. Oh, that ain't good. Oh, bug. Freaking bug. I'm trying to think of what's a good close road that I can get on. It's got a little bit of curviness to it. Okay, that was testing at some speed. that's where I experienced most of the vibration, was at a higher speed. So let's see what comes about. I'm almost to the road I want to turn on. Oh my God. Wow. This is why road rage happens. Because I'm that guy. Pull a Do It With Dan AK. So what I'll do is just go to the end of this road and back. Yeah. Let's go review the footage and give a final result. And the verdict's in. I like it. For what I want, I think it's going to work just fine. I'm actually amazed at how stable it was. Even with some of the rough sections in the road where it was jarring around at high speed, the vibrations were minimal, almost completely eliminated from where I started. That's awesome. So for any of you guys that want to do something similar down the road or in the future, you know what's going to work. I'll put a link to this thing in the description below. It was very cheap, I think like 14, 15 bucks. You know, everything looks like it held up well. I tightened down the one little set screw that actually attaches the camera to the mount. I used a wrench and really tightened that one down just so to be sure that it didn't vibrate loose, and nothing seemed loose at all when I got back. I'm really happy with it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that, and there's going to be more footage coming later on, hitting the Parkway and other roads around here, different camera angles. It should be interesting to go back and watch even for myself. Now, if YouTube doesn't butcher the footage when it gets uploaded, hopefully it'll still be good enough quality. Alright guys, that's it for this time. If you have any questions, comments, future suggestions, things you want to see, leave them in the comments below. Please hit that like and subscribe and the notification button if you want to see future videos as I release them. Ride safe, and we'll see you next time.